Hey everybody, this is Craig Cottle, Director of Nature Blind School. We just recently wrapped up our tactical survival class that we teach with Iron Sight Defense, Rodney Van Zant. This was a private class that we taught this time. And the weather was very inhospitable. Here in Kentucky, the weather changes day to day. Like today, it's 60 degrees. During the last 4 days, it was raining and down into the upper 20s, lower 30s. What I wanted to do is go through the kit that I used. We're going to look at what I used for the downtimes for, getting some good comfort, as well as what I utilized in the mud and the rain that worked exceptionally well, and some kit that just absolutely positively sucks and that you should avoid. All right, so the class was, again, a private tactical survival class, which is, just go to the website and you can read all about tactical survival and how we do it. We love teaching this class, and Rodney and I teach it twice a year now. And let's just start from the bottom up. First thing that I have that I want to show you is my Danner boots, and I don't actually know what model these are, and I'll have a link for all this stuff in the description in the blog that accompanies this. But this is probably one of the best investments I've ever made. These Danner boots were in the mud for literally 4 days, and my feet literally did not get wet. One day when I was standing in the creek for an extended period of time, there was a little bit of dampness. Other than that, they worked fantastic. I highly, highly recommend these Danner boots. For years, I wore the Merrell Moabs because a lot of the Special Forces guys that we've worked with, that's what they wear. But I'm finding that's probably because they wear them in desert arid conditions and not in wet weather conditions. I just wore merino wool socks, no need in showing those. Merino wool insulates when it's wet. It continues to keep your feet as dry as they possibly can. When you're sweating, it pulls that sweat off of your body. Pants, interesting pair of pants that I had. So we trained with a Navy SEAL many, many years ago, and we did some shooting training, and he gave my son a pair of Arc'teryx pants, high-speed pants. Well, I've been looking for those pants forever. They're like $400, $350 or something. Well, I found these knockoffs on Amazon, and I'll have a link for these as well. These actually worked exceptionally well. They're designed to be Special Forces type pants. They do come with sewn-in knee pads, and this is going to wear out. This is going to eventually not be worth a dime, but for this class this weekend, they worked exceptionally well. The beauty of these pants is that they're big and bulky, and then they have cinch straps right above the knee. They have cinch straps at the ankle, and what that served to do is keep a lot of the mud out of the top of my boot. And they also have a cinch strap that's basically right on the front of the thigh, and that's the only problem I have with these pants. When I pulled that tight to keep the pants tight to my leg, which was great, I bent down to build some traps and it split, so that's the problem. But they do have some material in the back that lets them flex. That's absolutely fantastic. And again, I'll have a link for these. Cannot recommend these enough. I chose the ATAX AU, and this particular AU pattern has more green in it than what you typically see, so I'm a big fan. You all know I'm a big fan of ATAX. Hey, so you might notice that my dog as well as my daughter are out with me today, which is pretty cool. You might see them walking around the background. So with that said, moving on up, I wore, and I have several of these, we have some Nature Reliance School t-shirts, but some sort of long sleeve wicking t-shirt, and then underneath of it, or on top of it, excuse me, I wore a short sleeve wicking t-shirt. This again is our Nature Reliance School t-shirts. Depending upon the weather, I did one of two things that lasted all weekend long, okay? So when it got warm, because again, the weather fluctuated greatly, I had just a Frog Togs rain jacket on. And I'm talking a couple days, it rained all day long. This eventually let the rain in, okay? But what I noticed about these Frog Togs is they have tape seams, and the tape is coming loose from this particular seam. I took 2 of these jackets in case one of them failed like this one did. The other one, the tape is not pulling apart, and it worked exceptionally well. So if you're going to get one of these, make sure it's got some better tape and it doesn't look like it's already loose when you buy it. That's going to be vitally important to you. On the days it was colder, the only thing I did to change up is I bought this. This is from REI. It's just a fleece vest, and I'm just telling you, this is probably one of the most valuable pieces of equipment that I own. I've had this for probably 20 years, and it constantly comes back and is utilized when it's cold weather and I wear it when I sleep, or it's raining and I wear it under a rain jacket, because it doesn't take up a lot of space and it keeps me warm. Here's the reason why I'm pretty sure it keeps me warm. It just basically builds into convection, meaning the air pockets that are captured by this material just holds the heat better, particularly inside of a rain jacket, and kept me exceptionally warm. I could zip it all the way up my neck. For my head, I had two things. Number one, I always wear these Tactical Tailor operator caps. This one is, a lot of people think this has got a bunch of Craig oil on it, but it's actually bug dope. When I wear this, I always, in the summertime, I'm constantly spraying bug dope on it, so it looks really rough, but it's incredibly comfortable. Cannot recommend these enough. And then on the days that it's cold, I keep this in one of my big pockets on my pants, just an Under Armour ball cap. You'll see me in my videos all the time wearing this ball cap when it's cold. But in the mornings, put this on. When I was sleeping at night, I'd put this on, and it wicks moisture away from me. And it ended up, one day I wore it, it was so cold, I wore it during the day underneath of my hood on my rain jacket, and it worked well. I got wet one day, and it still insulated my head. Hey, one more outer jacket that I wore, because I'm always taking a bunch of different equipment and trying it out. This particular model is the Rothco Spec Ops jacket, and I'm holding it up so you can see the arms and the back, because everything I've showed you has had the same amount of time to dry. I'm just telling you right now, this jacket is okay in wintertime. You go from your house to the store, but this is a piece of shit. I would never recommend this jacket for anybody if you really want to utilize it in serious situation or serious training. It took about 2 hours, and this jacket was completely soaked through and was not providing any insulating layer for me at all, and was definitely not creating a layer to keep me from getting wet. So I don't recommend this jacket at all. Stay away from it. Hey, what I utilized as a belt is I just use these basically Tactical Series 511 belts. I got a couple of them. They're okay belts. They do what they're supposed to for the most part. I noticed that these ends fray a lot, and you know, you had a difficult time when you're trying to put all your kit on and everything, but they work okay. Not a great belt, but an okay belt. Now in this particular class, very different from any of the other tactical survival classes we taught. It was a private class, and the guys that wanted to do the class wanted downtime at night. They had all traveled from different parts of the country to come in, and they were old classmates, and so they wanted downtime. So I took some real comfortable stuff to sleep in. But some of that turned out to be something you need to be aware of. Okay, so first off, I took one of those fold-out awnings to sleep inside of. And on day one, the first night in, within 2 hours of it being in the rain, it was raining inside of my awning, just like almost as bad as it was outside. And so I had to improvise with some things. I always take backup in case something doesn't go as planned. With that said, here you go. The Military Sleep System Bivy, which is Gore-Tex, if it was not designed by God himself, he had a hand in it, because this is the most useful piece of equipment that I've had, that I've utilized in nearly a lifetime of being outdoors. It keeps the wind off of you, it keeps the water off of you. Basically, I put the sleeping bag, I had a cheap sleeping bag because it wasn't supposed to be too cold, inside of this, not the regular Military Sleep System sleeping bags, and it worked exceptionally well, kept me dry. Okay. Beyond that, I have a Teton pillow that I take with me when I'm doing camping rather than, you know, out in the woods rucking, sleeping on the ground. This thing got wet within the first 2 hours of going to bed the first night, so I didn't have a pillow. I always have some sort of rain cover for my pack, and I just always stuff that full of clothes if I need a pillow that has to be dry. So this didn't work at all when it was, I still love this pillow, but it doesn't work well at all when it's wet. This one right here, I'm really disappointed to say what I'm about to say, because I've tried to support Thermarest for years now, but this is the second Thermarest pad that I've had that within a few months of buying it just quits holding air, and it, quite frankly, it pisses me off. So I'm going away from Thermarest, getting completely away from them. There's not a lot of companies that make some real small pads that you can carry that go like down to the waist, but I've got to come up with a better solution. If you have an idea, put them in the comments below, because I'd love to hear your thoughts. And again, I've supported them for years, but I'm getting away from them, and I would suggest you not buy them ever again, because the last 3 that I've bought have all failed within the first year, and this one failed while I was utilizing it in a house. You know, it was fine when I went to bed. This is a year ago, and I've been trying to use it ever since, and it just doesn't hold air anymore. Next up is probably the most excited piece of kit I had. I actually utilized this in our tactical survival class back in the fall. And this is from Wilderness Innovation. It's a bomb-proof tarp. This thing is a tarp that you can utilize as a tarp. You can utilize it as a hammock. And the beauty of it is, if you get, and I need to do a separate review on that tarp setup, and I will do that. You can get a polar fleece insert that works just like the poncho itself. You can put this over your head. Here's the hood for it. It matches up and buttons into that tarp so that you can basically create a sleeping bag out of it. And it works exceptionally well. Let me tell you how I utilize this. Keep in mind, we weren't way out into the boonies, but when I had to get up, I worked very hard to stay hydrated during classes like this, drinking, you know, over a gallon of water every day because we're doing a lot of work. I have to get up and use the bathroom a lot. When I get up in the middle of the night and it's raining, I just throw that on, go out and use the bathroom, come back. I don't get soaking wet, it doesn't wake me up too bad, and then I can go back to sleep. So as far as morale, it's a really nice piece of kit for a camping / training environment. Not saying that you would do that in the real, but in the real environment where that's all I've got, that's what I utilized as a bed. And it works exceptionally well. I'm very excited and very happy with my Wilderness Innovation setup. Now for some of the more tactically minded pieces of equipment. Carried the Glock 19, I carried it in a Kentucky Kydex sheath. Works flawlessly. Love Kentucky Kydex. They're made in my hometown. No problems at all there. I carry a Double Star AR-15 with a Spark II optic on it. Worked exceptionally well. The Spark II works under, I mean, it was raining on it almost the whole time. No problems whatsoever. It works exceptionally well. I use a Magpul sling, probably going to change up to something different that Rodney suggested. So, again, rifle worked flawlessly. Great rifle. What I want to look at next, oh, I'm sorry, here's my knife. I carry this. This was made by Blind Horse, not Battle Horse. It used to be Blind Horse knives. They made a very limited run of these tactical Tontos years ago, and I got one of them. And I love this knife. It works really well. I wore it scout carry on the side, basically, you know, horizontal rather than vertical, just to try it out. It worked well. Again, the sheath that I got with this knife was crap, so I got rid of it and had Kentucky Kydex make me a sheath for this one that fits it like tight, really, really tight, so it doesn't have the ability to fall out. Works exceptionally well. I use the Peltor, and I don't know what number these are. Again, I'll have links for everything. These are the Peltor Tactical Sports. I picked up a headband from Special Operations Equipment. They work really well. Not really needed, but it works well. I was concerned that maybe with all the rain that these wouldn't work well. They worked exceptionally well. I didn't have any issues with them having problems from getting wet because I cannot wear a hood the whole time I'm shooting and doing all that stuff. So basically these were getting rained on almost the whole time. Worked really well. This is the Tactical Tailor MAV chest rig. I love this thing. It works exceptionally well. I may or may not go to a chest plate carrier in the future. I'm not really sure. But I'll tell you something that was impressed upon me by an instructor a long time ago, and it served its purpose really well in this class, and that is in harsh conditions, rain, a lot of dust even, or mud or whatever, you're flopping on the ground, taking a prone position, and you have the typical mag carriers with just bungee on top, then you're getting crap down in your mags. So it was his recommendation, he was Special Forces, to have mag carriers have covers on them. Hey, that worked exceptionally well for this class with everything just sopping wet. Not that the guys who didn't have them, their weapons ran fine, but you know, they ended up having to clean their mags out a bunch. I didn't have to do that. I have a Tactical Tailor admin pouch. What I keep in this pouch, pretty simple. I keep a multi-tool, I keep my Kaminga compass, and this is also where I have my laser light that I use when I'm teaching man tracking. And this works exceptionally well. And I also keep my phone in there. As well as my PowerTac, this is an E5 light. This works exceptionally well. Again, I utilize this in everything. But I have one of these in my admin pouch, and I always keep another one of these in my pocket. It's on me at all times, so that's another consideration. The rest of this is kind of piecemeal from different companies. I have a 511 mag pouch for my Glock 19, and then I have another mag pouch on the other side. I have a 511 pouch that keeps some other stuff I want to keep close to me, particularly for this type of class. I have my fire kit that stays in a waterproof container that has fast fire in it, a lighter, and a huge ferro rod. And then I have my optic in here as well. So that's all there and useful material. Beyond that, I have another Tactical Tailor water pouch. Inside of this, I have a titanium cup, and this also has on top of it a holder for my tourniquet, which is a soft T tourniquet. Got to get a soft T tourniquet. These are the best. And as far as radio is concerned, I carry the Yaesu VX6. This is a very useful radio, and this is the first time that I had put to test the fact that they say this is basically a submersible radio. It was soaking wet over and over and over again and worked flawlessly, no problem. If I had utilized my Baofeng, or Baofeng, however you say that, a couple guys had Kenwoods and another guy had a Baofeng. Baofeng crapped out within an hour. So if you're going to get a radio that you're going to use in harsh conditions, make sure that you get something that you know can handle the water. In the back, what I carry is a detachable, in essence, a go bag. This go bag has all my stuff that, hey, I get thrown outside, got to stay out here. It's got all my kit in it to make it happen overnight. That is including my water filtration device, an extra knife, I've got a notepad, and I've got some other incidentals in here that worked well, particularly for this class, mainly a Silky Boy saw. And beyond that, what I also have is a SO-Tech, Special Operations Tech, and that go bag is from Special Operations Tech. Those guys are fantastic. These Viper IFAK kits are fantastic. I cannot recommend them enough, and I mentioned them in a video recently, and we're going to do a separate video on this as well. So check that out, and check out SO-Tech. Hey, so that's it, and I hope that helps. Basically, what I wanted to point out is I stay dry. My legs, the pants, those knockoff pants that I had, they don't, as far as I know, didn't have any sort of spray on them that I'm aware of, but they shed water like a fish, man. They were fantastic. Again, as far as me, there were a couple times that around my neck I got wet because I had the hood off and would get rain on me. I had wicking clothing on, so that dried rather quickly, and I was able to get that off of me. And all this other stuff kept me dry, and I'm talking 4 days of rain. It sucked as far as the weather condition, but you gotta embrace the suck. And you can do it a whole lot easier if you have some better equipment. I hope this helps you. If you have any questions whatsoever about the stuff that I like or don't like, then put it in the comments below, and I'll do everything I can to answer your questions in a timely manner, because I want you outside. I want you to spend more time outside. And as always, hey, buy the book. If you get my book, Extreme Wilderness Survival, which there's also a link for that below, then you'll have a lot of information that we share in these classes. And our hope and desire is that you read the book, want to come to a class, or want to apply what's in the book in your own life so that you can spend more time outside with yourself, your family, whoever it is you like to train with. Because at Nature Reliance School, we always come on, join in, let's learn together.